Today is August 30th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganess St. Louis Acura. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey. Rammer, good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I am doing well. For those that have not seen it yet on Twitter, last night I was down at the Cardinal game, and it was apparently slew night. As you're wearing your Billikens gear, I can see right now. Travis Ford was down there. He did the pregame interview with Claibs. I saw Chris May was out there as well. And then during the trivia questions portion of it, the fan interaction trivia questions last night, I think the first question was, what is SLU's mascot? There was another Billiken-related one after that. And then suddenly, up on the big screen, the trivia question pops up is who is a former Cardinal broadcaster and voice of the St. Louis University Billikens men basketball team. And look at that. Bob Ramsey, you were the answer to a trivia question last night at Busch Stadium.
I thought it was Euchre. No?
You know what? I texted you this, and I swear on you, this is true. Up there. And I see Bob Ramsey up there, and I was like, wait, like, the hell? And then I go and I read the question to see, I'm like, is that the Bob Ramsey I know? And yeah, sure enough, it was between you and Bob Euchre. I am happy to announce the two women who were playing the game, they got the answer correct, and they knew that you were the voice of the Billikens. Well, they got it.
What's proven with this whole thing is that I'm clearly trivial.
I'd like to know who in the Cardinals, I guess, marketing team, who amongst them sat down and came up with these trivia questions. I'd like to know who sat there and did that, and then chose you over Earl in an answer for that too.
Well, except that Earl hadn't been a Cardinal broadcaster.
I know that's the tie-in. That's the tie-in. I know. But. You know, I feel like Earl was left out in some capacity, but no, nonetheless, yeah, it was very shocked to see that, as I'm sure you were when I texted you that picture.
It's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Rammer, we have afternoon baseball starting up here in about a half an hour. You know what? Hey, if the Cardinals were not 20 games below 500, man, last night's win would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, the coolest thing. Well, there are a number of cool things, but I loved Palacios still going after the bunt with 2 strikes. Unorthodox, but he was demanding of himself to get that bunt down. And sure enough, he did it. And I like it. I thought it was cool, him making that effort. Failed the first 2 attempts. He said, I'm going to get this thing down. I'm going to do the right thing. And he got it down. Again, not orthodox at all, but it was an enjoyable moment for me.
And there was also there was a point earlier in the game too where he didn't get the bunt down when it was after the inning where Walker and Wynn both singled to start off the inning that resulted in not Palacios' fault for not getting the bunt down, but Jordan Walker was way off the bag at second and got picked off in the early innings of the game too. So I'm sure that was also weighing on the mind of Palacios in that situation, knowing, you know,
we got to execute.
Yeah, that he didn't get the bunt down. It wasn't a pitch that he could get down in a bunt situation, but it resulted in an out nonetheless. So I'm sure there was some, you know, a little bit on his conscience, a little bit maybe he felt at fault for that as well. So yeah, they put him in the leadoff role, and he got to he ended up in a big spot in that game too. And Ali Marmol pulled the right strings by having Palacios up in that situation, and then use Tommy Edman to bat for Nolan Gorman instead. Because I'm sure that he was going back and forth trying to decide which one he wanted to bunt for or which one he wanted to hit for in that situation.
Yeah, and the you know, I've been going on and on recently about letting the kids play even in situations where it might not be a strong point, lefty on lefty, righty on righty. So I don't want to be hypocritical, but I had no problem with that move last night to win the game. Under normal circumstances, earlier in the game, I want Gorman to hit against lefties. How else are you going to get better at it? But last night, pushing the right buttons, it was good.
The game today, it is a 1:15 start time. We have lineups. We have bootlegging lineups for you and Bootlegging Tavern. Hey, they're open right now, and they're back from their little mini vacation this past weekend as they let the employees off. So head on down there starting at 5 o'clock today, or get on out there for dinner tonight and see what Bootlegging has going. Kansas City style barbecue at 4501 Shoto in the Grove. Tommy Edman leads off. He is in center field. Last night's walk-off winner, Tommy Edman, is in center field. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Wilson Contreras DHing. Nolan Arenado at third. Jordan Walker in right. Andrew Kisner is behind the plate. Taylor Motter at second. Richie Palacios drops down to eighth in the lineup, playing left field today. And Mason Wynn, once again, batting ninth at short. For the Padres, Rich Hill on the mound tonight. Initially was not the scheduled starter going into this series. It was supposed to be Yu Darvish, but Yu Darvish on the injured list now, so Rich Hill steps up. Ha-Sung Kim is leading off, playing second. Juan Soto is in left. Manny Machado is at third. Fernando Tatis Jr. in right. Xander Bogaerts at short. Garrett Cooper at first. Matt Carpenter DHs. Luis Campusano is behind the plate, and Trent Grisham is in center field for the Padres. As we go through these lineups here, day off tomorrow for the Cardinals. Claibs mentioned kind of in passing yesterday during the lunch show about members of the Cardinals, or I guess the two leaders of the Cardinals, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. It kind of alluded to and kind of hinted at the fact that they went to Ollie and said, you know what, no more days off this year. We're good. You don't need to be rested for October. We're playing to win. I think 500 is a stretch at this point. I know that was initially the goal of the second half of the season, but I think playing for pride at this point, and they want to make sure they're in the lineup every day because you know what? They have all October, November, December, January, February, and March now to take days off.
I appreciate their attitude, and I would, if I were the manager, I would say thank you very much. That attitude and leadership goes a long way, and I'll let you know.
Really? If they are the two centerpieces of your team, if they are the two corners of your infield, and they are the ones that you want all these young guys to learn from, and we have seen, I don't know if it was a comment towards the Cardinal organization or just Paul DeYoung being a baseball fan, but I don't know if you caught the comments when they had Paul DeYoung mic'd up this past weekend and now playing shortstop for the Giants, talking about the Braves players who have not missed a game yet this year, saying that's how baseball should be. I love it when guys go out there and play every day. Kind of, I think some might have read into it as alluding to, you know what, some of these guys don't want days off.
I think that's two different topics.
Okay.
Because the guys are willing to play every day. Those two guys, the corner guys, are willing. What's best for the organization? What have you decided? Let me ask you this. What have you decided about Luke and Baker?
Are you
I'm
saying
just asking you, what have you decided in what you've seen?
Let me
give you the answer. Nothing. You have no idea.
I was going to say, I haven't seen enough of him. No.
So he's got to play.
I saw him yesterday on the field, prior to the game, and he is one of the largest baseball players that I've ever seen in my life.
So I want him to play.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you bench those guys. I'm just saying what is best for the Cardinals to learn about what they have. You know what you have in Arenado and Goldschmidt. So if it's a given day, hey, I want to see Luke and Baker here at first base against this lefty. I have no problem with that at all. In fact, I think it's a good idea.
Then Goldschmidt can DH that day. He's still not out of the lineup, but he's just not at first. That's not a day off, right?
Well, what if I want Burleson to DH that same day?
Then maybe you give Burleson his glove and you tell him to go out to right field that afternoon.
I think we've seen enough of that.
Again, the games don't matter at this point, right?
Right. Exactly right. So what do we learn from who plays? We learn who can play. and what they can do and what they can't do. That's the way I would be looking at it if I were the skipper.
And I guess I look at it, and I'm sure you're not going to disagree with this, but your two best players, your two leaders of the team, who are quiet leaders, they're not standing up on the table in the middle of their clubhouse giving speeches. They're going out there and they are leading by example on the field. So you put them out on the field every day and let them lead that way.
Yeah, that's fine, except that unless I need their spot to find out about a prospect.
Yeah. Well, we got 5 weeks to argue about this, as the Cardinals will have an off day tomorrow. Welcome the Pirates into town this weekend. Also around baseball yesterday, my goodness, a bloody Tuesday for a lot of guys placed on waivers all throughout Major League Baseball. The Angels, pretty much everybody that they acquired at the trade deadline, they put on waivers. Harrison Bader put on waivers. I guess you could say the Cardinals won that deal, right?
Well, not necessarily. It doesn't mean the Yankees don't want him. He's playing every day.
Yeah.
He plays every day for them. I think that the waiver thing doesn't mean you're getting rid of them. Some players it does. Some you're holding the bait out there. You're putting chum in the water. Joe Roderick, we're putting Joe out on waivers. And then Team Clabe says, oh, really? We're going to claim him. Then I can pull him back and call Team Claves and say, you're interested in Joe Roderick, huh? Well, how much? What are you looking to do? Let's talk deal. And so sometimes those guys are out there for bait.
The rules, though, the September 1st trade deadline is no longer a thing, though, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is you can learn the value. What I'm saying is you can let me give you an example. What does baseball think of Tyler O'Neill? All the other GMs. We don't know. We don't know what they think. Put them on waivers, maybe you find out.
Yeah, that I believe. Yeah, the rules have changed here recently, as far as that. You're not going to see, like the Larry Walker deal of the past, Will Clark deals of the past. Which, I liked those. Those were fun when
Absolutely.
when you would get a guy like that, when you would get a veteran player to come in, and by September 1st, it was a bonus trade deadline, and you weren't expecting him to be on your team, and boom, then all of a sudden, Will Clark's wearing a Cardinal uniform and just slapping singles all over the field. That was fun.
I don't have the new rule in front of me, but I don't think these are irrevocable waivers, are they?
As it goes here, as I was trying to pull up all of the waiver system and how this works, waivers are a thing in August. Under the old August trade waivers, waivers were revocable, meaning you could pull your player back and keep him if claimed. Now it's regular old outright waivers, used to remove a player from the 40-man roster, and release waivers used to release a player. So yeah,
well,
they're
wrong,
not.
I guess. I find it odd though. So I apologize for looking at the old rules. So I guess Bader's done.
Yeah. So no, he had said that he's just going to spend the next few days sitting by his phone and wait. This is basically, you are dumping salary. If somebody else wants to take Bader's salary off of you, you're waiving him. And you're getting a little bit of money back for it.
So I apologize for not knowing the new rule.
No, and that's
It seems to me though that it's odd that you'd play a guy every single day and then say bye-bye.
Yeah, and then also too. So
my bad.
Yeah, the postseason roster eligibility deadline is a hard deadline. It is August 31st, so 11:59 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. If a player is not on that team, that is, so technically, just for example, if the Cardinals were in the playoff mix right now and they brought Albert Pujols back tomorrow at 7 p.m., he could play in the postseason.
Right.
If they brought him back and on September 2nd to try to let him hit home runs and beat Babe Ruth, he would not be eligible for a Cardinal postseason run. So
I do know that. That's
right. So that is part of this as well. So there you go. We're learning the new rules as there have been a lot of them going on in baseball the past few weeks. Rammer, we are brought to you each and every day here on Daily Cards Live by the folks at Mungan St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks.
Royal Banks, for better service means better banking. Call my friends over at Royal Banks for any of your banking needs. 314-212-1500. An experienced banker, lender will be there to help you out and answer any of your questions. 314-212-1500, Royal Banks of Missouri.
He is Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been Daily Cards Live right here on ClaibsOnline.com.
Munganess St. Louis Acura has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras. Get 3.9% financing for up to 36 months on all new Acura models, or get $1,000 in loyalty incentives on the 2023 TLX and RDX, and $750 in loyalty incentives on the 2024 Integra. Get financing as low as 1.99% for up to 36 months on certified pre-owned TLX and MDX models. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.